Hello, good evening. Welcome to Interlude. My name is Reverend Nina Clark, and I'm the Associate Minister here at Unity in Lynnwood, and it is my deep pleasure to welcome you to this midweek service where we take a moment to just press the pause button. Just take a moment to stop and catch up to ourselves and let go of the week and reorient ourselves for the rest of the week. I'm so glad you're here with me. Shall we open with prayer? Go ahead and close your eyes if you would. And take a breath with me. And as you follow that breath, know that the simple act of placing your attention on your breath, brings you to this moment, brings your attention and your awareness to right here. And I like to think that in doing so, we kind of begin to collect our awareness from all the places that it is likely scattered through the day, through the week. We start to bring our little attention that we have here and there on this and that project, on this and that person, on this and that problem. Just gather it all up and bring it right here to this moment. And as we do that, we begin to feel more grounded, more present. And as we feel more grounded and more present, we come to know the truth of who we are. As we become more grounded and present, we come to know that we are love itself. We are oneness. We are connected to something much greater than we are. And by connected, I don't mean in a way that we can never be disconnected from, but we become aware rather of our existing connection, that we are not separate. And as we gather ourselves more into this moment, we begin to experience the fullness of our being. We begin to become aware of being aware. We are beingness itself, awareness itself. Expressions of this one life, this one infinite and eternal, never-ending, boundless, energetic field of all possibilities. And as our consciousness stretches into the knowingness again, remembering of that, we remember that we are power, we are wisdom, we are intelligence expressing, we are love. We are the creative expression of life. And so this I know to be true of each and every one of us, that we cannot be separate from the all that is, from the one that is all. And so we come again to know the who that we are, that which is aware, an expression of the I am. Always unfolding, ever expanding. And so for this knowing, this awareness, I give gratitude, I give thanks. And I let it be so. And so it is. So 5 weeks ago, Dr. Richard launched a series that he's calling Summer Camp, in which he began sharing spiritual practices for better living. And 5 weeks ago, Interlude started offering a second opportunity to put those spiritual practices, well, into practice. Just kind of as a reminder to go, oh yeah, I learned something cool on Sunday. I think I want to keep playing with that. So last Sunday, Rabbi Ted was our speaker, and he began his talk by saying that the spiritual journey requires practice. And I love that he shared that he used to think that as he expanded spiritually, he wouldn't have to spend so much time on doing a spiritual practice because spiritual practices were designed to get him to a place where he wouldn't have to do them anymore because he'd be more fully conscious, more fully aware, and more fully present. But he shared that he's learned that being more spiritually conscious is reflected in a life that is itself spiritual practice. That where spiritual practice is the way of life, is a way of life. He said it's about maintaining the high consciousness with which we engage our world. And if you haven't had the opportunity to watch last Sunday's service yet, I highly encourage you to do so because there is so much more depth and breadth in what he had to say than I won't be able to even touch a corner of it tonight. Rabbi Ted shared that in his tradition, in a traditional prayer book, the very first lines that are to be recited in the morning are, I give thanks in your presence, Holy One of all being. The very first energies, the very first vibrations to be held in consciousness when we open our eyes are simply thank you. Here I am. Isn't that a beautiful way to begin the day? I just love that. So the spiritual practice that Rabbi Ted shared with us to practice for this week is a practice from his tradition, which he introduced as a kind of mantra, which in this particular one was taken from Psalm 16:8. Shivitiya lenegdi tamid. And I apologize if I am not getting that exactly right, but that's what's stuck in my head. So, and he said, and knowing that it doesn't really translate well, and again, I'll direct you to the video archive of his talk from last Sunday for a more in-depth understanding of this. Knowing that it really doesn't translate well, Rabbi Ted offered us this as a translation. I see the eternal before me always. I set the eternal before me always. Gosh. Or another way of translating it is when I awaken, I know that I am awareness itself. And he talked about how the Hebrew language imbibes the very words themselves with a high energy. And as I understood him to say, the sounds of the words themselves carry the energy, the vibration of the language, the vibration of the meaning of the words. And he sang this mantra, and Nathan, our amazing AV tech, was able to isolate that video portion of Sunday's service so our dear Rabbi Ted will be able to lead us in the melody as we chant that mantra at the end of our meditation tonight. So will you join me in a time of meditation And at the end of our meditation, we will chant Rabbi Ted's chant that he offered us. So please, go ahead and place both feet on the floor and allow your body to relax. Allow your eyes to gently close. Allow your body to just feel heavy. And you can imagine that you're in a place in nature where you go, and your body relaxes. If it's by the water, you can imagine that you're sitting on a rock, one of those rocks that is partially like an iceberg, partially buried in the sand with part of it sticking up above. Or if you're sitting in the mountains in your mind, or in a forest, you can imagine sitting on an old tree stump whose roots go deep into the earth. And the reason we do that is that the grounding, the natural grounding of the tree stump or that rock with the lower part of it buried in the sand or the dirt or the earth, helps our bodies to ground and to settle and relax, and even to release kind of a static energy that keeps us kind of feeling buzzy during the day when we're busy tasking. And as your body relaxes, let's go ahead and enter that world within, that world where no lines are drawn, no boundaries or edges exist, where all is one. And breathe deeply into that space in and around your heart. And go ahead and acknowledge the one life that is the only thing happening. Then go ahead and follow a couple of those breaths in and out, and allow your body to relax more into this now moment. You let go of the day, all of the things that you've done, the words you've listened to, the problems you thought you had, the people that you spoke to. Just let go of all of it. And allow yourself to let go of all of the things that might be waiting for you at the end of our time together. Just let them all go. You can put them in a bag or put them in a suitcase and just set them outside of your consciousness. They'll still be there when you're ready for them. Just go ahead and bring all of your attention to this moment, right here, right now. And just allow yourself to be here and to notice that you are being breathed. Go ahead and bring your attention to your feet and just take a moment to be present with your feet. Now, as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down to your feet. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life right down into your feet. And bring your attention to your legs and just take a moment to be present in gratitude for your legs, for all the carrying about that they've done for you today, all the places they've taken you. And then as you breathe in, as you take this next breath in, imagine that breath, that holy, holy breath, traveling down to your legs. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life right down into your legs. And then bring your attention to your abdomen and just take a moment to be present in gratitude with your abdomen. And then as you breathe in, Imagine that holy, sacred breath traveling down to your abdomen. And know the intelligence of that breath as you allow your breath to flow down into your abdomen. And then bring your attention to your chest. And just take a moment to be present with gratitude for your chest. And with your next breath, imagine that breath traveling down into your chest, expanding into your chest. And know the intelligence of that sacred breath as you breathe right into your chest. And then bring your attention to your back and just take a moment to be present with gratitude for your back. And with your next breath, imagine that breath expanding all through your back. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life and let it expand all through your back. And then bring your attention to your neck. And just take a moment to be present in gratitude with your neck. And with your next breath, imagine that breath traveling to your neck. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life and let it expand into your neck. And then bring your attention to your shoulders, and if you want, go ahead and wiggle them a little bit so you know where they are, and just take a moment to be with them in gratitude. And with your next breath, imagine that breath expanding through your shoulders. And know the intelligence of that breath as that holy breath of life expands into your shoulders. And then bring your attention to your arms and your hands. Just take a moment to be present with gratitude for your arms and your hands, for all of the things that they have done for you today. From brushing your teeth when you got up this morning, to answering a phone, driving a car, taking a note, fixing a meal. And now with your next breath, imagine that breath traveling down your arms and hands. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life right down into your arms and your hands. And then bring your attention to your face and head, and just take a moment to be present in gratitude for your face, your beautiful face, and your miraculous head. And with your next breath, Imagine that breath traveling to your head and your face and expanding throughout your whole head. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life, and now allow it to expand through your head and your face. And now that your body and energy field are calmer and more settled, now that you're more present, let us practice the chant. You may want to open your eyes. The words will be on the screen in front of you. And thank you, Nathan. Rabbi Ted will lead us off, and then we'll go ahead and continue together for a bit. Shiviti tamid, 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 Shiviti tamid. And so it is.
We believe giving in its highest form is a spiritual practice, and we are grateful to be among the beneficiaries of your spiritual practice this evening. May your generosities of hand and heart return to you in untold ways as they reach into our greater world to bless.
Thank you for being here this evening and exploring these spiritual tools with me. And if you would like, I encourage you to continue to carry this practice forward into the rest of your week. And I feel that Rabbi Ted actually offered us two spiritual practices. And the first from the traditional prayer book, the first words that you can utter when you start your day, when you first open your eyes: I give thanks in your presence, Holy One of all being. And then Rabbi Ted invited us to let this mantra that we just explored find us throughout our day. Shivati ya lanegdi tamid. Blessings on the rest of your week. Thank you for being with us tonight. Namaste. I am light, I am light.